For today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Cup of coffee.
My God, does everybody feel like I was never a druggie? I mean, I was a drunk.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like everything feels surreal.
Yeah.
The few times that I have tried to use the marijuana, and this is why I don't use it, it does not do well with me. But it's this weird dream state, and I don't like it.
Shit, that's a natural status of Pisces, and that just
God,
it is.
Shout's heart. I can't.
We walk between worlds. Literally, we're in two dimensions at the same time.
But you're in neither. To be grounded is how. That's what has bothered me for years. Is that I don't feel totally present a lot of the times. And that very probably has to do with inflammation.
That too, along with planetary stuff and all that.
The planetary stuff is just messing me up.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is messed up. And it's just
sick.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like the insanity that is going on out there in California with these fires, that these people could have built reservoirs to where they had water years ago.
Didn't Donald Trump just call that out?
Yeah. And that how in the hell do you run out of water in an area that is prone to wildfires? Now, I don't believe these people are that damn dumb. I don't. So therefore, I will don my tinfoil hat and wear it proudly.
I don't think that it was a accidental thing.
No.
My question is, how did this fire even start?
They don't really know right now. But there's a large amount of homeless people out there. If you've got somebody, I mean, it was very dry. These areas are prone to fires because of the winds and the dry. And I think I had read that it had not rained out there for like in that section for maybe 8 months. I don't know whether that's accurate or not. So this is all scuttlebutt on some of this. I don't have, some of the references that I probably should have.
Well, shit, I thought they were... Maybe this is a really old thing, but I thought they were in a drought still.
Well, it seems to me that they had historic rains not that long ago. Because I remember Ryan Hall talking about it. But anyhow, as far as
it's just for the water supply is just for the rich, and that's it.
Well, they have been having lots of stuff out there, and why people tolerate it and vote for it is beyond me. Because there are wonderful Californians out there, some of who listen to us. Mm-hmm. Our beloved Sean Stryker has been fighting the idiocy out there for many, many years.
But places like L.A., Hollywood, Beverly Hills, stuff like that, those places, there's a dark energy there.
Yes. I think so. I really think so. And it's like, I am so sorry for the people who, as far as property damage and the lives that were lost and stuff like that. And it's like, it's wrong. Because you've got these elected officials that is supposed to be their job is to fix things to keep the people safe. And they're not doing their jobs.
Yeah. Like there were no fire trucks whatsoever to even stop, like halted a little bit.
Yeah, they've got a shortage of firefighters. Even if they had water, they've got a shortage of firefighters. I mean, it's insane. And to watch some of these supposed reporters stick a microphone in somebody's face. It's like I had seen one. It was this gentleman who was 91 years old. He had just lost his home that he had lived in for 60 years. And her stick the microphone in his face and go, "Oh, how do you feel?" And it's like, that the microphone needed to be going someplace else on her being.
How did no one smack that microphone out of her hand when she was doing that shit? Or when any of the other ones were doing the same shit?
I don't know if it's just that these people are that callous or what. It's like Don Henley years ago had the song Dirty Laundry that talked about how the media and stuff does. And I think a lot of these people are sociopaths.
Oh, I fully, like, and you say, like, you don't know if it's a matter of they're just that callous. No, that's it. They're that callous. They're that hard of hearts.
I know that one of the lines was, we've got the bubble-headed bleach blonde who comes on at 5. She can tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye.
Mm-hmm. Gleeful, almost.
Yeah. And give us dirty laundry.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting when people die, give us dirty laundry. That was the line in the song. And so there's been people that have called this stuff out for a very long time. And you can sit and watch some of these, and let's face it, they're not, as far as the news, no. They're entertainers. It's just news entertainment. Mm-hmm. Sit there with this pasted on grin talking about these atrocities. And I'm like, do you even have any self-awareness? Any? I don't think they do.
No. I don't. Heck, I don't even know if it's a matter of a lack of self-awareness. I think that some of them genuinely just don't care. I don't know. Maybe that's me being very bleak as far as my opinions on some of them. But I do think that's how they go about it. I think they just genuinely, it's not a matter of they're lacking self-awareness. They're just that calloused.
It's just that it's, as long as it's not them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just absolutely amazing to sit there and watch. They have no water.
None.
And the planes, I don't have any idea, but I know that a lot of times they used to drop the water, you know, on some of these fires and stuff like that, and that Biden was out there. So they had it was a no-fly zone.
What?
Yeah. It was just, it's nuts. And they're saying that some of these things...
suspicious out
the
ass.
God, yes. I mean, my God, this stuff is so blatant that somebody that's blind could see it. I mean, honestly.
This is disgusting, vile, evil stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It truly is. And then that with all this stuff going on, that they had sent more money overseas or out of this country. Mm-hmm. Today.
Yeah, they want to do as much damage to this country as possible before they get kicked out.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just the insanity that is going on, not just about all that. I mean, it's just, that in itself is brain-breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try to be a good person, that you just try to be a good person, care about other people, do different things like that, you know, even if you don't have the same belief system that we do, other belief systems, it's a matter of, you know, we're not going to sit there and preach on anybody today in any way, but there are other people that try to be good humans. And that everybody is just appalled because it's hard to conceive of true evil when you see it. It just sort of breaks you. Mm-hmm. If you're not like that, if you don't think that way, if your spirit's not that way, it messes with you.
Oh, it full on tears streaming.
Yeah.
Because of some of the evil, a lot.
Yep.
Hell, all of the evil that's going on. It's just so fucking overwhelming at this point.
Well, tears are a form of prayer. I thoroughly believe that. I've done that lots, and you get that. It's called a weeping spirit. And it is that, as far as that spirit of God, that it just, you're interceding for other people, and the tears just pour. And it's like, kid over there has seen me do that before in the past, and the tears would actually come from a different part of my eye.
Mm-hmm.
They would come from the outer corners instead of where the normal, where the lacrimal ducts are near your nose. And it's unlike anything else. And it's like there is this rocking motion that goes with it when you are in that form of prayer.
Yeah. Well, the rocking is a self-soothing thing as well.
And I have seen other people that had a weeping spirit and the same mannerisms. And that if you've got somebody that is a spiritual leader, if you've got somebody that's a pastor that understands different movements of the Holy Spirit and stuff, they understand what's going on. And I know that we went to that one church one time, and that this lady was interceding for somebody, and he called it out, and he's like, yeah, I'll go and minister to her. And it was just a matter of other people going and laying hands on her, like on her back and stuff, and just to let her know that we were there, and it was that collective energy as she did what she was called on to do in that moment.
Right.
It's an incredible thing.
Yeah.
And other people are like, oh, somebody bring out a rattlesnake. It's like, don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid.
Like those people that are doing the thing, that's them tempting God.
It is. But all this stuff that's going on right now, and within the meantime, God, just random, where I used to get most of my stories was from Daily Mail, but then everything went totally crazy, and so the fun, spoopy stuff, that's not, no, this stuff is spoopy, but it ain't fun. And some of it's just bizarre. I mean, it's just like this lady, let's see, was it? Yeah, it was a little lady, 80-year-old lady, that she had one of her motorized scooter. It blew up.
The what?
Yeah. Because anything that's battery operated a lot of times.
With her on it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. She dead? Or is she?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, it's just like those e-bikes and stuff. How many times have we seen those things catch on fire? We've seen videos of those things in elevators catching on fire.
Yeah.
So
that shit's scary.
Some of this battery-operated stuff, it ain't there yet.
Battery-operated cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a good idea.
And something else that was very strange that had found, and I will leave the article for this one if you want me to.
Question, that also makes me wonder, it's like, okay, what were the temperatures of these things? Because they do have a heat tolerance of sorts. They can't be stored within a certain temperature for too long.
This lady was in Minnesota, and I would say that in Minnesota, especially this time of year, it's not hot. It is not hot.
Yeah, no, there's no reason that it should
have. Well, why was the battery in that laptop of yours? What was happening with it? It was, Oh,
it was about to explode. It was just getting old. That was it.
Exactly. And so, like I said, the battery, some of this stuff, I think that it's got a lot of potential. It's not there yet. There's still too many problems. And replacing the batteries on these things, very expensive. Mm-hmm. And then what do you do with the waste?
Right, like those big batteries, like those car or like a mower battery or a car battery or something else. What do you do? How do you dispose of them?
Right.
You can't just chuck them in the trash, and I don't think that it's a good idea to chuck regular batteries in the trash either.
Well, and if you bury them, all you're doing is leaving that for somebody else to have to deal with.
Right. So, like, what the fuck?
Right.
How do you actually properly dispose of these
Well,
things?
that's the thing. Any kind of advanced whatever, until you can figure out what to do with the waste product, don't implement it. It's not there yet. So,
Shit.
And as far as going through X today, I know that one of the people, y'all need to seriously, my X page, I was very active today, reposting a lot of things that were highly interesting, including the gorilla that was eating a pepper and had had flatulence of epic proportion, and nobody was mentioning it.
It sounded like an added sound effect,
No.
but it wasn't.
No. Because the vegetarian animals, primarily vegetarian animals, and they have flatulence.
Don't be around vegans.
And I'm like, yes, I am. There's immature part of everybody that from time to time that flatulence is funny. Especially when it's a gorilla.
Vegetarian and vegan farts are the worst farts.
It makes you rough because the body, we're omnivores. We're omnivores.
It makes you want to slap the piss out of them. It's like, dude, you just not.
That's some virtue signaling. With the vegans and stuff.
It's like slapping the piss out of them. That's
no.
That makes, you know how like your lips pucker with the sour thing? It makes your nose want to go inside your head.
Turn inside out.
Yeah.
And there's people that do different things. And I've done vegan, I've done vegetarian, I've done lots of things over the years. But as far as being a pompous ass about it, no. That was my choice. I didn't expect anybody else. I did expect somebody to respect my wishes at that point, which often didn't happen. I didn't appreciate that. But as far as some of these other ones that because they do it, they think everybody has to do it. No, you're not God.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I had found that was really, really odd from Daily Mail, and in Ohio, there was a 75-year-old lady that on Christmas Day, that she had gone outside her home and a neighbor's pigs mauled and ate her. Now, for those people who have never been around hogs, they're dangerous. But it was just kind of ironic that on Christmas, instead of her eating ham, the ham ate her.
And how the tables have turned.
Really?
Well, there is an old saying around here called, it's like, dude he went to shit and the hogs ate him.
Yeah. Yeah. That old saying there was a reason for that. Because wild hogs and stuff, they're very much dangerous. And I know in Texas they still have herds of them that go through, and they're very dangerous.
So her neighbors had pigs, and they got into her yard.
Yeah.
And she didn't have enough sense to keep her distance from them?
She was 75 years old.
75 years old and didn't have sense not to get close to a pig?
I think it was one of those, that was what that the authorities had claimed, said if it was a pit bull or a Rottweiler or name any other of the 15 dogs that are deemed semi-aggressive, then they would have known the answer right away. But if being a farm animal, it's just not something we've ever dealt with here before. That was the cops.
They don't live in areas like these.
Well, and I don't
not.
think she was necessarily in an urban environment or anything. They apparently had gotten out of the enclosure of the neighbors and must have been hungry, and yeah.
Love that. That's just crazy.
But even they thought that was highly unusual. And one of the most unusual things that I found in my internet wanderings today was a snippet of an interview with Terrence McKenna. And now, not being somebody who has ever been a psychonaut, and we have always said, there is no judgment here with that. We're not for it, against it, nothing like that. If you are an adult, you do you. I think it's fascinating. In the past, we have had people that, as far as substances, that shared their experiences, and they're incredible. Just absolutely incredible.
Okay.
And so, if you want to share any of that stuff, I've got the email thing. It's cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. That's doing fairly well at this point. But Terrence McKenna, and they called them psychonauts, these people that were experimenting with psychedelics and stuff. What?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm
But as
I
far
already know
as
part of this story, so it's like, oh Lord.
yeah, as far as me personally doing that, no, I had enough weird shit that went on in my head, and I was really concerned that if I took something else, that it would unleash the weird shit that was already in my head, and I would have a bad experience. And there again, that's another one. If you buy a ticket to ride on that, you got to ride that train.
Oh yeah.
There ain't no getting off of that.
Listen, I have never done acid, never will, because I've heard too many horror stories. Once they're on that bad trip, they're on that trip, and it even when it wears off, it still can have
yes,
like residual shit that lasts for years.
Mm-hmm. I have known people that happened to. And that's another reason, as far as me being fascinated with it and stuff, not so much. And it's like I got a cat that's annoying me to death right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
some people say, "Oh, mushrooms!" Like there's mushroom gummies or whatever on TikTok, like being advertised on TikTok. Apparently, when people take them, like some of them with ADHD, their mind just goes quiet.
I have heard that. And as far as the microdosing and stuff, let's see, it wasn't the mushrooms. I have seen where that they are having some of the mushroom gummies.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it was. Ketamine. That they, as far as microdosing with ketamine, but because that I have such weird reactions, I would want somebody that was a qualified something.
I've heard of people
with me.
I've heard of people boofing ketamine.
If somebody's going to abuse anything and everything out there, I mean,
why would you do that? Why would you do that? I hate legit, the first time I heard of someone doing that, I had to look up. I had to go on Google and be like, what does this mean?
Yeah, well, that's all right because, people don't think about things like that. But Terrence McKenna, and they're in the 60s because that you did have the psychedelics. You had the CIA that was testing on people that they had not necessarily agreed to the testing. And you had a lot of other people that were experimenting with, like I said, with the LSD and different things like that in a different way. Mm-hmm. That previously was just basically the realm of shamans. Okay. And so to read some of their experiences is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's like ayahuasca. Like it has to be done with a actual shaman.
I think so, because you can go into a realm that humans are not necessarily supposed to be there.
Yeah, have you heard people talking about those ayahuasca retreats?
Yeah.
And it's a whole group of them doing it together.
Dangerous. I think it's an abuse. I think it's an abuse of the plant.
It is. It's an abuse of the whole thing, the whole practice.
That's supposed to be a sacred thing. It's not supposed to be a recreational whatever.
Yeah.
But after I will get to the main, because I actually sat there and typed this up with that McKenna had said. I went back because it was funny. I'm trying to collect my thoughts, and people's like, maybe you do need to do a little microdose there. I'll go ahead and read this, and it came out yesterday, and supposedly he had said it 25 years ago. And he said it's going to get weirder and weirder and weirder. And at some point, the people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. Guess what? This was 25 years ago. This was before X.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famine, starvation. Yeah, it was freaky.
That's nightmarish.
Yeah. And then he said, this was the quote that got me, because I'm like, what? He said, the mushroom said to me once, And I thought, what does he mean that the mushroom said to him? And so I had reposted, and it's like, well, the mushroom has spoken. But the mushroom said to me once, this is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. You don't depart for the stars under calm and orderly conditions. It's a fire in a madhouse, and that's what we have, the fire in the madhouse at the end of time. This is what it's like when a species prepares to move on to the next dimension. Now, again, the fire, what's going on out there in California? How many of the rest of us, it's like those people out there crazy.
Yeah, a lot
especially there around Hollywood and L.A.
Yeah.
Is that the madhouse? Now, I'm not saying that the man was a prophet.
I think the madhouse is spread multiple places over the world.
Mm-hmm. But I just thought, I do not believe in coincidence, and I was just sort of like, oh. But going through there, and there's quite a bit, and some of the stuff that was typed up was like, oh my God, it was like website from early 2000s. Just this huge page of text that there's no way in hell that you could sit there and read it comfortably. And I'm like, no, not that. Nothing like that. It's not going to happen.
Loves it. We love those chaotic retro website styles.
But one of the things had said that he had, through the mushrooms, through the psychedelic experience, come in contact with this alien-like being that was a horned goddess mushroom thing. And I'm like, I don't think that you need to be taking advice from all that.
Yeah, no. How does he know that it was good?
Exactly. And that is the problem with some of the people that interact with some of these things that they encounter. It's just this immense naivete to go into a dimension that you're not supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. Because you have lying spirits. Yeah,
you do. And you have you're stepping into their world.
Absolutely.
You don't know their rules of their world.
Right. Exactly. And then there was, somebody had said that McKenna had died April the 3rd of 2000 of a rare brain tumor. And I did try to verify this, and it was unsuccessful on that. And supposedly the doctors assured him that the tumor was not caused by any of the drugs or substances that he had used.
I don't think that it was due to the substances that he used. I think it could have been due to an entity.
It could have been. It could have been.
Because that does happen.
Yeah.
Or correct me if I'm wrong on
that.
No,
you're right. Because there are historically there have been different entities, different demonic spirits, if you want to call them that cause sickness and disease.
But there was one type of entity that you told me about, and this has been years ago, but it still pops into my mind, and I'm like, that little thing is pitiful. It was just trying to help. Whereas, like, it was in one of the dude's organs or whatever, and it was squishing the stuff into little balls, and he was like, I just can't get them small enough. Right. I'm trying to help. I can't get them small enough.
Right.
Like those sort of entities, they
did send it out of the body, and it's just like earth spirits and different things like that. We have forgotten so much over the centuries that we no longer know how to interact properly with some of these beings. Now, and it's just like people, as far as them joking about the Fae, leave the Fae alone. Don't mess with them.
That's like people taking their offerings.
Oh,
it's
God,
like you don't do that. You don't take jack shit of theirs, and you don't give them anything either. Mm-mm. Now listen, if you live in an area like ours and you toss scraps out, that's one thing, because you ain't intention. Your intention is to feed the wildlife, not the Fae or whatever other woodland entities
we have possums
out there.
And raccoons that count on us.
Yeah.
We're feeding the possums.
Mm-hmm.
We like the possums. But no, as far as any of that, that's... And I don't know that I have had any... Have you ever heard of anybody interacting with the Fae in this area? It was always just one of those respect them enough to leave them alone.
Yeah. Have you ever heard well, yeah, you have heard entities before.
Yeah.
I've full on heard them before.
Yeah.
And that, like, no joke, it's been in the left ear, and it's like, it was this little high pitched voice and it sounded like almost like there's multiple.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah, we got him now, boys. Like, that's what it sounded.
And it's like,
It's like, fuck you.
Right. You're not invited. Get away from me.
Yeah. It's like, I rebuke and bind you in the name of Jesus Christ,
Absolutely.
and I exile you.
Mm-hmm. Because that is the thing about any of these entities. You have to give them permission. Now, there are ways that people will give entities permission just through ignorance and, just stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
That's like any of this stuff that's on these movies. If it's got any kind of incantation or whatever, turn that off.
Yeah. Yeah, fully.
Be careful who and what you say amen to, because that's agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So, with these, whatever that McKenna encountered, do I believe that these were experiences that he had? Absolutely. I have not studied or listened to him enough that that would probably be a Robert Phoenix rabbit hole, because I'd say that Robert could tell you anything and everything about the man, because his mind he's able to grasp those concepts and put them in a way that's smaller, bite-sized,
mm-hmm.
and where it's not overwhelming necessarily.
Yeah.
McKenna is one of those, in a way I could see him sort of being like listening to Charles Manson, that the longer you listen, the more sense it makes. And I'm not equating McKenna to Manson, okay? I'm just saying that there are some people that at first you listen to them and you're like, you getting messages from a horned fungus goddess.
It's literally, usually your first response is your correct response.
Like it's that Spock eyebrow.
Yeah, it's like, if you automatically, like, first thing feel something off about it, there's something off about it.
And
so why would people, and that goes to the thing about people gaslighting themselves.
Yeah. What is really weird about McKenna and some of these other people, it's almost, if you even question or whatever, some of his people will come at you with this religious zealotry. How dare you question him? I'll question anybody.
Yeah.
But it's odd. It is odd. And any time that you've got that kind of a response around somebody, you need to do a little bit of self-check to see if you have made that individual into an idol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what they've done. They've turned that man into an idol of sorts.
Uh-huh. So we've got cats that just absolutely... The cats are making me crazy.
That's crazy that he saw that mushroom goddess thing. But it also reminded me of this time that I was listening to this dude, and he was talking about his ayahuasca experience. And he, like, total druggy, like, anything and everything under the sun almost. Except for, like, the stuff that will eat your bones or whatever.
Right.
But he went to one of these retreats for the ayahuasca thing. And one of these girls swore after doing the whole thing, she was rocking and she had a horrible headache or whatever. And she said that she was seeing, like, the shaman or whatever went over to her and was like, ask Mother Aya to take it away. And she said that she saw... tell me which religion this is. Kali?
Oh, that's,
the goddess Kali
right,
with the
that's one of the Hindu.
Stabbing, like, either, like, spears or swords into her head. Mm-hmm. And Kali at a certain point, she's just like, stop!
Kali was a matter of distraction.
Mm-hmm. And, like, literally, the woman was just like, stop!
Right.
And it went away.
Mm-hmm. Right. That is the deity, that's a statue that they have outside of CERN. Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. It's
CERN is something that should not be.
There's a lot of things that should not be. But as far as me finding that snippet of McKenna today, I'm like, okay, because I don't believe in coincidence.
No, I don't think that was a coincidence. I think God put that on your For You page.
It's like, phew, and just prayer. Everybody's having the paranormal and the supernatural. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to tell them where we can be found?
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter. Rolanda, COCWS. And if you want to check me out on X too, it's that alien.
Yeah, he's
all lowercase, one word.
I'm sorry, it's like everybody's got sinus issues going on also.
Mm-hmm.
Prayers, please. We're supposed to get Friday evening about 3 more inches of snow. We may be able to get out of our driveway about April. Somewhere through.
We're going to be stuck in here for...
I'm just hating it. I really,
Are we really going to be stuck in here until April?
No, we're not.
Oh, no.
No, we're really not. But just check on people. Check on people that if they have some kind of physical challenge or something, if it's older people, if somebody does have battery operated stuff that's older, check on those things for them because they may not think to do that.
Well, did you see some of those gadgets on Temu that people were getting? Like, for example, like that battery powered scrub brush or whatever that we have in the closet somewhere?
I think we got rid of that. I think that went to Goodwill.
If we did get rid of it, Temu had a version or whatever. It caught on fire. And there was other stuff that was battery operated from Temu that caught on fire.
Some of those things that you plug into the wall that are cheaply made can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I actually have first-hand experience with this. It was a laptop charger from eBay, and it was from one of these Chinese sellers.
Yeah.
And it's like, what smells like burning? And it started melting.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, most things here in America, that is, I think it's Underwriter Laboratories or something, it's a little tag on electronic things that says UL, that they have checked those, but any kind of mechanical something can malfunction. That's why you don't tailgate either.
Yeah, this is also why you don't buy...
But that's for another cup. I found out about the CDL licenses yesterday, and I'm like, that's why I go down number 11. Mm-hmm. I get it.
This is also why you buy stuff from reputable sources,
yes.
At least the battery-operated stuff.
Yes. It's not worth the pennies that you may save if you have to spend many, many dollars afterwards.
But honestly, that chair... Because those chairs are not cheap. You cannot just go to a Chinese company and just buy one of them.
Well, even some of the... it's just everything.
But...
It's everything.
That's like a freak accident. Like, I've never heard of one of those chairs blowing up before.
Well, like I said, with
scooters.
the e-bikes and stuff, we have heard of that lots.
Now those, but those motorized scooters that old people use, no, I thought they had to go through rigorous testing to make sure that they were safe for them.
No. Assume nothing. Anyhow, know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Bye.